The Chicago Blackhawks have won their first game on the road since November 9th, and it's against the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes fall 5-2 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Not a sentence I expected to say earlier this week. Thanks so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Danielle. Craig's calling in from Mullett shortly. Petey, I think this was a disappointing result, to say the least.
Their last road win was the 12th game of the season. The 12th. November. You know how long ago November was? It was last year. This Coyotes team wins 2 games in a row. Did Chicago play last night?
They did.
They did. That'd be back-to-back on a team that stinks. Oh yeah, sorry, Chicago Blackhawk fans. The Blackhawks are bad, and we talked to. I don't think anyone takes Mark Lazarus, and you know what Mark Lazarus said? They're doing it the right way. They're losing the right way. They're losing on purpose, and they're bad. And yet they beat the Coyotes at home in Mullett by 2.
Just a reminder: the Coyotes beat the Blackhawks 8-1 at Mullett earlier this season.
8-1. Yeah, it's frustrating because right when you thought this team got back on track in their 2 wins, and I know that 14-loss streak was horrific and it was hard, and losing breeds looting, all of those things. But so does winning, and winning is contagious, and you feel good about things, and you get 2 wins in a row coming home against Chicago. You go, oh my goodness, you might be able to actually win 3 because the game against Washington was a day game, and they got out of there early, so they got home at a reasonable good time. They got the day off the next day, so they should have been well rested. It was a disappointing game, I don't know how else you can say it. And it's some of the same mistakes creep back into their game, and we'll talk more about that as we move on. But overall, it's a disappointing loss, and it's 20 games left. They're out of the playoffs. I mean, it's a loss. It's just another one of them. And the one thing it does do, it pulls them closer to Ottawa and Columbus in the battle for the basement. And now that's more realistic than ever that they could be passed by Ottawa and Columbus before this thing is all said and done. And they could finish with a worse record than they had a year ago.
Absolutely insane. This one feels especially disappointing. If this was the Red Wings game later this week and they lose 5-2, it's fine. The Chicago Blackhawks have 37 points. That's almost 20 fewer points than the Coyotes have. That's a huge disparity. The Blackhawks were 1-7-2 coming into tonight. They've been awful this whole season, and this is a game, especially coming off of 2 wins on the road. You're coming home to Mullett Arena. There's no Mullett magic. I don't know where it went. The Mullett magician, God help him, because we might never see him again.
I know.
It's been 43 days.
43 days.
He is just stuck in a room
43
alone.
43 days.
But
this team is 500 at home. Leah.
It just feels, this one feels especially disappointing because they should have won this game without question. And sure, they're losing. It's good for them, blah, blah, blah. But like, the Blackhawks are so bad. The Blackhawks are not catching the Coyotes. So have the moral victories against the bad teams. I'm sorry.
Especially when a team like Chicago comes into your building and you see all those Chicago Blackhawks sweaters in the Mullett, you'd like them to get a win and shove it, But it's frustrating. And when this team plays well, they play well. And there were some opportunities here. The truth is, for this one, the same thing that's this team has struggled with for the entirety of the season. They need to find a way to get through the first period. And this time it wasn't an early goal in the first 10 minutes. That didn't happen. What was it, this one, Leah?
It was like 11 something.
Yeah, it was
10:54.
Yeah, so it was. It didn't even make it to the 11-minute mark, but they made it through 10. But what was the problem? Maybe we should show the numbers.
Yes.
And we can talk about what the problems are.
Let's take a look at the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Let's take a look. Shots on goal. Coyotes outshot the Blackhawks 39-32.
That's good.
I'm going to skip ahead. Face-offs,
Skip ahead.
pretty equal.
Not bad.
Shot attempts, also pretty equal. Blackhawks 69. Nice. Coyotes 64. Coyotes were 0 for 2 on the power play. Blackhawks not super penalized.
No.
The Blackhawks were 4 for 5 on the power play.
Can you say that again?
The Blackhawks were 4 for 5 on the power play.
Holy cow. I thought Danielle, the magic behind the Mac, had made a typing error.
Just, if we want to flip that around, the Coyotes were 1 for 5 on the penalty kill. Petey.
That's really bad.
That's bad.
That's bad. That's 20% on the kill. You want to be closer between 80 and 90. And they were 20. That's bad. It's truly the difference of the game. But
Yeah.
but let's talk about it. Because penalties killed this team again. But what penalty killed them? What penalty is the one that put them down 5-on-3 again?
Too many men.
Like what the? How? It's the second time in 3 games.
They were on the penalty kill and they got
killing a penalty and they got too many men on the ice. I don't know. They've been on the power play and they take too many men on the ice. They've had a guy in the box and when he jumps onto the ice, someone from the bench jumps onto the ice.
Skated with 6 skaters for like 15 seconds with too many men. I don't understand. They how there's swear jars, and I was seeing this on Twitter tonight, and people are onto something. There needs to be a bench thing. Like everyone puts $100 in the pot.
Yes.
Every time, because that's a bench penalty.
Yep.
And at the end of the season, they can make a massive donation to charity. $100 per player per too many men.
Suggesting it. Love it.
Penalty, because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. And
do you got to do like Pee-wees? And you got to like hold onto their jersey and say, okay, you go now and let go? Like what in the hell is going on? I've never, ever seen a team.
It feels like it happens every game.
It does. I know I saw from our Twitter account that it had how many days since the last 2 minute ice penalty. That number will be 0. I don't know what it is. I have never seen such a thing. We asked Andre Tournier about it a month ago. And his first comment was, well, some of those were pretty tight with the guy coming to the bench. What about now?
We might need to ask him tomorrow again.
Like, my God. I don't want to be too dramatic about this, but that's a penalty that you can prevent. Sometimes other penalties happen. What are some of the other penalties tonight? Hayton for interference of a goalkeeper, crashing the net hard. You're okay with that. He's getting to the net hard. We're fine with that. I didn't love the tripping either, but the other one they took is flipping the puck over the glass. Like, what? So you did it 2 penalties but literally did it to yourself. You have to find a way to stop doing that. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you do. I don't know how this coaching staff can eliminate those penalties. I've never seen it. I've been around this league for 25 years. I've been in that coach's room for 23 of them. I've never seen this, ever. I don't know how you stop it. I have to go back to my kids' Pee-wee team to get, and I'm not kidding. And those are just kids that just are, you open the door and then they just start flooding out. And you go, okay, well, you kind of get how they get it. These guys are adults that should know better. And that's the difference of this game with the Chicago Blackhawks. That's how the first goal goes in, because it's a 5-on-3. You can kill off the Barrett Hayton 5-on-4. You can kill that off. You kill that off, and it's 0-0 still, and you keep fighting for another day. And who knows? I mean, revisionist history and hindsight 2020 and all that. Maybe they win, but they're not behind from a stupid penalty again. That's how they get behind, and they were never able to overcome that.
Yep, and that's a story that we've heard before, not being able to come from behind, because the Blackhawks capitalized with 6 seconds left in the 5-on-3. They managed to kill off the rest, but you just go down the list, and every Blackhawks power play goal, like all of their goals, almost 4 of 5 of their goals, PD.
It's incredible.
We're on the power play.
It's incredible to me. I don't know. Like, I know Ingram was his first start back in a while. I know Veggie had the last 2 wins, and you go, okay, well, maybe they'll get a great start out of Connor Ingram, and you go, okay, I don't know what you can fault Connor Ingram. Like, that one, the first goal went off of Stetcher's stick. It wasn't his fault. He makes 27 saves. Stetcher tips in the first one. I don't know. The seam pass off the power play goal that they scored right off the hop. I don't know. I did feel bad for him. I literally speechless on how do you give up 4 power play goals in the same game? Again, it's a record.
Well, yeah, so Craig had tweeted earlier, this is tied for the most power play goals the Coyotes have allowed in a game in their Arizona tenure. It's happened 13 times in total. 13 times in, 27 years, 26 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's not great. And
not great.
The worst part is it's against
the Chicago
Blackhawks.
Yeah, this isn't Edmonton.
This isn't Edmonton. This isn't Toronto. This isn't even Washington with Ovechkin on the power play. I'm sorry. And I think any any realistic Blackhawks fan or follower would say, yeah, you're right. This team sucks. Like, their team's so bad. The CHGO Blackhawks guys were tweeting today, like, please win. You know, we just went through the 14-game losing streak. We know the feeling of please just win a game. That was them today. They were begging.
Do you want to know who has the worst power play in the National Hockey League? I'll give you a guess.
Is it the Blackhawks?
The Chicago Blackhawks have the worst power play in the National Hockey League. The worst. They scored 4 tonight.
I don't even know. I don't even know. Hopefully Craig will have some insight for us once he joins about maybe he asked about the penalties. We'll see. We're going to talk when Craig gets here more about Jason Zucker being scratched for trade-related reasons. Trade-related reasons season is upon us. So we'll talk more about that with Craig, but it sounds like you have another thought.
I'm just going to say the penalty thing and giving 4 out of 5. Part of the things with those penalties happen when the other team possesses the puck more. You're going to take more penalties. When the other team has more jump and you're more tired, you're chasing the game and you take more penalties. That shouldn't have happened tonight. The Coyotes were well rested against a tired team that played in Denver against a very good Colorado Avalanche team. Got their ass kicked, flew, traveled. They should have been the tired team tonight. The Coyotes should have been fresh. They're at home after a long road trip. Everything should be happy day off. They should have been the team that was quicker on pucks. They should have been the team that was drawing penalties instead of taking them. It's really frustrating, and it goes back to the Heckle and Jide, the Jekyll and Hyde of this Coyote team. And sometimes you see a team that skates quick on pucks quick. And I thought they were better in their last game in Washington than even they were in their win against Ottawa. I thought their win in Washington was a complete 60-minute game and they were the better team. I don't know what happened in 48 hours. I don't know, because Chicago is the better team tonight. And Chicago's goaltender was outstanding, and he made some great saves.
The Coyotes really, even in the first period, they outshot the Blackhawks 17-12.
The goaltender was great.
Yeah,
that glove save.
The one thing you can say about the Coyotes tonight is they have a lot of shots. Yeah, and that's something that we don't.
Maybe I was a little quick to say that glove save he made on that pass from Cooley to Keller.
Oh my God, that was unreal.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and Keller scores that 9 out of 10. So you're right. The goal.
And if he scores that, it could have changed the momentum of the game. Yeah. So credit to and also I've been sitting here kind of shitting on the Blackhawks in general, but it wasn't just the Coyotes' failures. It was the Blackhawks.
Yeah, they look good today.
Yeah.
You know, and they had players that
the
did
vibes
things.
Are probably better on the CHGO post.
It's funny because Seth Jones had 1 goal coming in tonight, and he gets 2. Like, Seth Jones is the guy they wanted to add offense for this team for the entire season, and he just has been unable to do so. He's more of a distributor and playmaker than he is a goal scorer, and he gets 2. I mean, what a big night for him. Foligno's a guy that drives the net really well. Chicago looked better than they really were tonight.
Yeah.
And you know who I didn't notice a lot? Like, it wasn't Connor Bedard night.
No.
He gets 2 assists.
Yeah.
He was 2 assists. Fine. But he's also a -2. But regardless. But it wasn't like, oh my God, Connor Bedard destroyed this team and he was the reason why the Chicago Blackhawks was able to get a win. It's not the case.
Yeah. B said our PK is all vibes, no kill. LOL. And then Chris said tonight's Desert Dog should be the beer vendors kept the fans happy for this one. That's a good pick. A lot of people saying Stan should be the Desert Dog. We gave our tribute to Stan on Sunday's show. If you missed it, you can go watch it on our PHNX Sports YouTube channel. It's its own video. Some people were saying no one deserves the Desert Dog. Well, we still chose one anyway, and we chose Michael Carcone as tonight's Desert Dog. 1 goal, 3 shots on goal. Had a goal called off because he fell on top of the goalie and kicked it. And, fair enough. But he was in it tonight. And, we want to give credit to a guy who does the most with the little ice time he's given. So, Michael Carcone, you've got that Desert Dog?
I was happy for Carcone. And he lit it up against Chicago the last time they played the Blackhawks as well as one of his biggest nights. He had a 4-point night the last time. So congrats to Michael Carcone, even though he kicked one in. Oh, well.
Oh, well is right. Well, Chris had mentioned the beer vendors keeping everyone happy. Four Peaks will certainly keep us happy at our takeover on the 24th. It's going to be at 3 p.m. at Four Peaks. There's still tickets available. Last I heard, there's 2 game tickets available.
Are they available to people now?
They're available to anyone. Okay. Diehards get 20% off. But there's 2 game tickets left, but there's plenty of tickets left for the pre-game meetup, which you can buy separate from the game. So you don't have to just go to the game. You can come to the pre-game meetup. Tickets include food and drink. So we hope to see everybody there. That's going to be 3 p.m. 4 Peaks, Sunday, March 24th.
Will Craig be there?
Craig will be there. I'll be there. You'll be there.
I'll be there.
Danielle will be there, hopefully. I just RSVP'd you.
There,
yeah, Danielle. There you go. But we hope to see everybody there. Again, if you're a diehard, 20% off, one of the many perks to becoming a diehard, 20% off merch, access to our Discord, and diehard only content as well. But we're just trying to give you value. And one of those things is giving you a free $200 when you open a Desert Financial Credit Union checking account. I mean, why not take advantage? Desert Financial Credit Union, Craig banks there. As we all know, they help out with checkings and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit card, investment options, and more. And again, like I said, when you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
And then
200.
Vroom, 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 vroom. The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring when NASCAR returns to Phoenix Raceway March 8th through the 10th. Spring break at Phoenix Raceway is the perfect introduction to NASCAR with affordable ticket pricing for families. Whether you're a diehard racing fan or simply looking for a fantastic day out, this event promises fun for everyone. For the entire family, just like me and my son Jackson. And as we see, look at little Jackson with his Casey Kane t-shirt in the pit at the Phoenix Raceway, creating core memories for me and my son. Thanks to Phoenix Raceway. Get your tickets to the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. It promises to be a weekend of good vibes for the whole family. Get your reserved grandstand tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Awesome. Well, that's coming up this weekend. So
can't wait.
Get your tickets now.
That smell of burning oil and gasoline filling your nose.
Vroom. And I've discovered that there's a lot of racing fans in our Discord.
I'm gonna give you 2 tips because I know Craig's just dying to get in here. But 2 tips. Two tips when you're going to the raceway. 2 tips. You ready?
Yep.
Headphones or ear protection. Those little foam ear things aren't ideal. You can get those full ear protection over the ear headphones. You can get them anywhere like Target, Walmart. They have them. I'd highly suggest it. And the other one, don't forget, the sun still shines in Arizona. Don't forget your sunscreen, kids.
All right. Thank you,
You're
Petey.
welcome.
Well, we'll bring him in. He's waited long enough. It's Craig from Mullett Arena, and Cody is not on directly on his face. So look at us.
I'm all hyped right now because of Petey.
I mean,
I was going to come in like
we
this.
needed someone to bring the energy tonight.
Craig, I will tell you this, Craig. That was, by the way, that was a good imitation of a race going by. He has to see the footage we filmed tonight.
Oh yeah, there's a good Phoenix Raceway video.
We filmed something. I don't want to give too much away.
You know, I remember in the staff meeting they were talking about that, Petey, and I heard about the idea of a race out of the elevator. Can I say that?
It wasn't that.
It wasn't that. Don't give away anymore.
Okay. All right, I won't give any more, but I thought you and I probably should have done it. If I didn't have to leave, I was thinking you and I should have come out of the elevator on walkers.
Yeah.
And just we could win to the
What's the rush, kids? Where are you getting to, you crazy kids? But we did one today that no one would participate in, and finally, I finally just stood up and said, I'll do it. Because no one wanted to do it. And if I'm going to do it, I'm committing to the bit. I committed to the bit so hard that the other participant in the bit couldn't stop laughing, and so the bit went awry. And so you'll have to wait till it comes out, Craig. You're going to love it. Anyway,
all right.
How was this tonight, Craig? How's the vibe?
Yeah, we need to know if you asked about the penalties.
What? Penalties? There are penalties in this game? Hey. You know, it's funny. Obviously both players, we talked to Nick Bjugstad and Michael Carcone after the game, and both of them mentioned the penalties, staying out of the box, the PK. Obviously, the PK was not at all successful tonight. As I tweeted, this tied a record for the most goals, power play goals that they've allowed in their Arizona tenure. They've done it 13 times now. But we asked Andre Tourigny, was the PK the issue after the game, and he said nope. He said, first of all, it was the penalties. We're taking offensive zone penalties. The too many men. I asked him about the too many men penalty again, and he said there's going to have to be accountability for the players. And you might say, well, yeah, there should have been a while ago, but I'm curious what they're going to institute, because I asked him what's leading to that, and he had one word to answer it. He said stupidity, which is pretty harsh. But aside from that, look, and we all know that the first game back from a long road trip, especially one that ends on the East Coast, is tough. It's always tough. Any NHL team will tell you that. But Andre talked about their lack of battle tonight. They just didn't win battles. They weren't fighting, and he was pretty miffed about that, pretty frustrated about that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because we were kind of feeling baffled, especially about the too many men penalty, because it just seems to happen literally every single game, if not every other game. And we've asked him in the past what it is. So I'm kind of glad it's now to the point of I don't know, this needs to change, because it's just ridiculous. And Craig, we looked it up. The Blackhawks have the worst power play in the league, and they scored 4 on the Coyotes tonight.
Mm-hmm. That's a problem, right? And they were, I mean, I look at the goals and I'm like, poor Connor Ingram.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good goals. They were good goals.
They were good goals, and they're good shots from tough areas. But why are you giving those up? I mean, the PK was a hot mess tonight. The PK was a hot mess.
Yeah, it's disappointing, especially after the team had the day off yesterday, to see an effort like that. How badly were the Blackhawk jerseys outnumbering Coyote Kachina jerseys in Mullett Arena tonight?
Buddy, you already know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of Blackhawk jerseys. Yeah, when there were major points in the game, you could tell it was a Blackhawk crowd. It was pretty obvious here tonight. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's too bad. You come back and Andre really thought they played well for most of that road trip too. And you come off of 2 wins and you're thinking, okay, maybe they have some mo. Nope, that's gone. But there's always the reverse standings that we can focus on.
That's true. Should we move on from talking about the game, Craig?
Yes.
Unless you
have
Okay, nope. So one thing that was related to this game was Jason Zucker was sat tonight for trade-related reasons. It's back. And of course, Jason Zucker's a name we've been talking about a lot as a potential trade candidate for this team. We're going to dive fully into the trade options for the Coyotes at the deadline on tomorrow's 2 p.m. show. But Jason Zucker sat tonight, and then Jeff Merrick, of course, friend of the show, actually tweeted this out earlier tonight. He said, plenty of teams have shown interest in Zucker: Boston, Vancouver, Nashville, Carolina, Florida, New Jersey, and Vegas, although the Mantha trade may have changed that. And Craig, you have heard similarly. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, first off, I don't need to confirm anything Jeff Merrick is reporting, because he's a pro and he's made his calls. He's done his homework. And I think he's right. There's a lot of interest. There may be even more teams than that, which is overall, it's a good sign, right? That there's a market for Jason Zucker. I don't know what that bidding war looks like, but there's a lot of teams that have at least inquired about Jason Zucker, the experience. He's got a lot of tools that you like and a lot of experience that you like. So it looks like there's going to be a robust market for him. And it looks like he's going to be the first one out the door.
Yeah, I was not surprised, because we've seen the trade-related reasons things before, but I guess, I don't know, I was surprised that he was the only one, because last year we saw Chychrun and Bjugstad sitting together for a while.
Chychrun sat out for a very long time. That was a long, painful process. With Zucker, though, it's an experienced guy that's been through playoff battles before. Yeah. He can play in the bottom 6 in your lineup and work really hard for teams that need guys with a little bit of spark and some energy that can get through the playoffs. That list is surprisingly long, and to me, Craig, what that means is, like you said, maybe there can be a bidding war, because we sat in this studio a week ago going, I'm not sure what the return on these players. They're going to go. Somebody's going to pick them up, but we're just not sure what the return's going to be. I think that's a positive sign for the Coyotes. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. When there's that many teams involved, and again, you got to keep in mind, some of these teams may be just kicking the tires, right?
Sure.
You don't know the level of interest, but there's a lot of teams. Like I said, there may be even more teams in on Jason Zucker. So I think there's enough competition that you might be able to get a decent price for Jason Zucker. And I know we're going to talk about this a lot more tomorrow, but Matt Dumba obviously is the other name. And I suspect that he's a guy that's probably going to wait a little longer with the state of the market right now and the opinions of Matt Dumba. But again, we'll get into this more on tomorrow's trade deadline show.
Yeah, so tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m., PHNX Sports YouTube channel for a full preview of the deadline. Craig, you said you have a message for Petey.
Unsolicited.
Literally didn't see this in the rundown until right now, and I just read it. That's how little I pay attention.
Yeah. So Dave from Chicago, who watches our show all the time, big fan, has abandoned the Blackhawks and is now a Coyotes fan. Leans in, comes over the ropes, actually, the red ropes, risking getting electrocuted, by those red velvet ropes. And we chat for a while, and one of the things he says near the end is, "Hey, tell Petey to ease up on the capris." So,
too much
I
calf.
thought I should pass it along.
Hey, the Coyotes, too many men. Petey, too much calf.
Fashion. Oh, thanks, Dave. We'll see what happens, Dave from Chicago. I was concerned at where that was headed because I offend a lot you can start
I may be protecting his identity, so I'm just letting you know that.
Sorry,
that's good.
My calves.
Well,
are
you gonna listen? Or are you gonna?
No, I am what I am. Like my pants, I will wear the same pants until they fall apart. I'm an old man. I'm not gonna go get new fashion. This is it, buddy. I mean, and maybe if the not high waters. What do you call them, Craig? What did we have when we were little in the 70s? The big ones with the flares at the bottom.
Oh, the bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms. Yeah, if they come back, maybe I'll make a change that. Oh yeah, does you ever own a pair of bell bottoms?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy,
I would love to see
I
you
rocked
in
my
bell
some
bottoms.
corduroy bell bottoms back in the 70s with the turtleneck sweater. Hell yeah, I did.
Maybe this summer we should do once a week. Buddy. We should do a themed show where we dress a certain theme.
I promise I am not changing my wardrobe. I won't wear shorts, but that's a whole nother story. All right, what else we got for Craig?
All right, well, there is another report going around that we saw on Twitter a couple times, but one by one, we'll just call him out. Jordan Schmaltz, he's been on the show, brother of Nick. He likes, he's the people's insider, as he said, and he reported earlier today that Gary Bettman is in town. He said, take for that what you will, and I'm here to say,
he said, keep your eyes open.
I can confirm those reports because I was at some burros on Frank Lloyd Wright in Scottsdale earlier today.
And
guess
oh my
who
God, there's a picture. You took a picture of it.
I saw Gary Bettman
at some burros.
Frank Lloyd Wright in Scottsdale. So, I mean,
hold the phone.
He's preaching about the mini chimneys. Look at him. He's preaching.
Hold the phone, Craig.
Okay.
Because later in the day, as I was traveling, yes, it's true. As I was traveling down to the studio for our meeting, I came across Gary Bettman at the Circle K on 7th Street in the parking lot.
What?
He had just thrown away his Polar Pop. And he said to me, "You know what? It doesn't sweat." That was his quote about the Polar Pop. And there he is in front of the Circle K on 7th Street. So I also saw him.
Guys, this is crazy.
No.
So I was at the D-backs Padres game.
No.
And Gary Bettman was there.
What?
What?
Oh, no! With Corbin Carroll
in the dugout, giving props to Corbin Carroll.
Wow, Danielle took this photo. Danielle, if you don't know, Danielle's a photographer. Wow.
Hold up. So he obviously made his way. He was making his way from downtown to the game here at Mullett Arena because I saw Gary Bettman at Four Peaks Brewery before the game. And it lets you know that I like to have a drink before I watch the Coyotes play. But there he is right there drinking a wow and telling people that Craig Morgan's idea of 8 4-team divisions in realignment is idiotic.
He's drinking a kill lifter.
He's got a kill lifter. You're missing
Okay, my bad. I thought that was somebody else's.
Oh, my God. That is amazing. He made all of the big stops. Gary Bettman was here.
So maybe he does listen to us from time to time.
All right.
Craig,
set the record straight.
Yeah. All right, I'll set the record straight. Yeah, no, Gary Bettman wasn't in Arizona. He was at the league office today. So, no, he wasn't here.
Now, how do you know that?
I got sources, buddy.
So you
I
picked
reached,
up a phone.
I reached out to the league office, okay?
You picked up a phone and you checked?
Yes, I actually checked, yes.
And he wasn't here.
That's what journalists do. They actually verify information.
So he wasn't here?
Nope.
Ah. Oh, well.
Not in Arizona, but
There you go.
While it lasted.
It was fun.
There you have it.
It was a fun trip around the valley.
There
I remember.
you have it.
Yeah, I would still like to see the people in our chat create their own Photoshops here. I'd like to see Gary and other iconic Arizona sites.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
have at it.
Please tweet at us at PHNX_Coyotes. Send it in the Discord. Where did you see
Where
the commissioner of the NHL today in the Valley? We want to see it. Oh, boy. All right, Craig. Any other thoughts and notes before we let you go?
No, just got I've got a fun story coming tomorrow. Petey will probably relive all of these. I found actually a dozen notable trade deadline moves that the Coyotes have made over the years. So I recapped them. That's coming tomorrow. And then I already had a chance, as I said earlier, not on this show, but a couple days ago, I caught up with Christian Fischer because the Detroit Red Wings are coming to town. So I'll have a story up on Fish a little later this week as well. It was great to talk to Fish. He's the same guy he's ever been.
Awesome. Well, can't wait to read that. Everybody go check out those stories over at gophnx.com. Craig, we will see you tomorrow for our 2:00 show.
All right, guys.
All right. See ya.
Oh, boy.
Well, Petey, it wasn't the result we wanted from the Coyotes tonight, but you were crushing it on the BetMGM Sportsbook tonight.
I will say this. When I
Like,
say
we
this
were cheering
often,
actively.
sports are more fun when you have skin in the game, and I had skin in the game on the BetMGM Sportsbook app tonight, and I decided not to pick a winner or a money line or a puck line.
Sometimes it's more fun to do the
and
props.
I just did individual props.
It's so much more fun.
And somebody at this table picked Michael Carcone anytime score.
That's why that was really what the dog in him graphic should have said was one PD money on BetMGM.
If people went to our little soiree at the Four Peaks, I was giving out free advice, and I made anybody that asked some money on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. I had a very good night. The Coyotes did not, but I did, and that's how you can still have fun in sports.
Absolutely. If you want to bet on the Coyotes, the Suns, where they're watching that game right now, I hear a lot of yelling. Or any team. March Madness is around the corner. Baseball is around the corner. Playoffs for hockey and basketball. It's all here.
Futures.
Bet now over at BetMGM. Sign up. Use the bonus code PHNX when you do. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application for at least $5, and you'll receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
And then, while you're watching the Suns in a tie ball game coming down to the wire against the Denver Nuggets, you can also play the Arizona Lottery's new ticket promotion called Arizona Adventure. And there are 3 ways to win. First, get the Arizona Adventure Scratcher tickets featuring 3 iconic landscapes. Second, you can walk and talk on your own and check in at geolocated adventures in 10 destinations across the state.
Do you think Gary Bettman went today?
I think he was at the Hole in the Rock.
I think so too.
At Papago Park.
Before Peaks.
Can you imagine him leaking? If he does go hiking at Hole in the Rock at Papago Park as part of Arizona Lottery's adventures, I bet he wears a suit and tie. I'm just saying.
Yes, I can't picture him without it.
A pair of Bermudas and flip-flops, and I don't see it. So you can win those 2 ways. You know what the third way is? Just enter your tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. Visit azadventure.com for details and directions, and you can check in at those destination coordinates on the website. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
I would love $1 million right now.
I could use a little taste.
Yeah.
That's why my weenie bets on the BetMGM Sportsbook app are not going to be enough.
Not for the million, but you can win it through the Arizona
You
Lottery.
can do it on NASCAR too.
Yes, thanks, James.
My buddy.
Yeah. This Sunday.
There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more. Everybody says turn left. There's way more to it. Who's got the right tires? Who's got the right setup? And every time they come into the pits, they're adjusting wings and flaps. And I'm telling you, there's a strategy and a science to it. Just saying.
There is. All right, well, let's take a look at the Coyotes' upcoming schedule. This was the game we had circled as a win. Eek. Let's move along. And it's going to be a lot of deja vu because the Coyotes play the Minnesota Wild on Thursday, the Detroit Red Wings on Friday. Of course, the Christian Fischer, as Craig mentioned, coming back to Arizona, and Shane Gostisbehere. Then the Coyotes hit the road, head to Chicago on Sunday, Minnesota Tuesday, and Detroit Thursday. Who made the schedule? They just copy and pasted.
Never seen it.
The line before.
Never seen it.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Before heading home to face the New Jersey Devils, who just fired their coach. So you have to imagine the new coach.
They didn't get the coach bump today.
I know, but I think they probably
Although I
will.
might have bet on the coach bump today, and it didn't happen today.
Okay. You
but
win
that's
some, you
Travis
lose
Green
some.
behind the bench.
Former
Coyote.
We saw
Travis
him
Green.
in Nashville.
We did. A great guy. Big
So,
fan.
That's what's coming up for the Coyotes.
That's a tough schedule. And Detroit's a team that's really scrapping for a playoff spot. I think Minnesota's fallen out. They might not tell you that, but I'll tell you that. Minnesota's out. So those wins, they might not be playing for much. That might be a winnable game here against the Minnesota Wild. Detroit's going to be tough. Detroit is a pretty good team. Not a great team. Pretty good team. Chicago's a bad team.
They better win that Sunday game against Chicago. They need a little redemption.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they can do
they have
it.
to. I think there's a couple winnable games there, and we talked about it already. The Mullett magician, and if you saw him on the tweet from the beat account, from the PHNX Coyotes Twitter account earlier, the man is in complete despair.
He's in shambles.
He's in shambles. I will say this, though. In all of this time, he has had to work on some tricks.
There might be some good stuff coming.
I will say, if the Coyotes get a win,
if the Coyotes win this week,
if they ever get a win at home, there's some good stuff on tap.
So we better hope for a win this week from the Coyotes. It's all.
Otherwise, here, I'm going to say it right now, because I can speak for the Mullett magician and PHNX. So if I know there's some tricks that are out there, if the Coyotes do not get any more wins the rest of the way at home, at the last game of the year, that post-game show, we will unveil the tricks that didn't make it. That didn't quite make it.
And we might have to do a blooper reel down the line as well. So
he has bloopers.
He is not perfect.
He is not.
It might be rated PG-13 for language.
I did not know there were mistakes.
For language. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's highlight a few other positives from this game. First of all, Clayton Keller was back in the lineup tonight after missing 4 games. Great to see him back. We talked about the scoring chance with Logan Cooley. But one other thing, tonight was Clayton Keller's 500th game. All 500 games played with the Coyotes. The 9th player in Coyotes history to reach 500 games played with the team.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's great to see him back in the lineup, for one. And he's a guy that's sorely missed when it comes to the offensive output for this team. You look at his production. He didn't have any points tonight, but he played almost 22 minutes of ice. He had 7 shot attempts. He got 3 shots on net. He had one of the best scoring chances that this team had in the entire night. That's a good first game back after missing 4 games with the team. So I think that's a good step forward. I liked seeing him with Gunther and Cooley, and you saw him a little bit with Schmaltz again, and you saw him on the power play with Schmaltz too. So I think he's going to break through in the next couple games. I wouldn't be afraid to take Clayton Keller on the money line against the Minnesota Wild, because I think he just needs to get this one game. Anytime.
Oh, you said money line.
I said money line? Mm-hmm. Anytime. Because you can't take a player as a money line.
I didn't know if it was like a parlay with Keller and the money line.
Edging towards midnight.
It's approaching midnight.
But he, I thought it was a good first game for him. And you didn't see him make any grievous mistakes. It's important that he's in this lineup. And right now, I know we talked a lot about him chasing for that 86-point mark. If I'm not saying no, he's got 20 games to go, but if that's going to happen, he's going to have a lot of multiple point nights, and maybe it starts against the Minnesota Wild on Thursday.
Yes, we will see. Nick said tonight was the start of another 10-plus game losing streak. I hope not, Nick. And Nick, if we know one thing about the Coyotes, it's they blow it up on trade deadline day and then win a bunch of games after.
That is very true.
So,
my God, I forgot that's coming.
Stick around because
they play on trade deadline day. That's just stupid.
I hate it. I
wonder
hate it.
if the Detroit Red Wings are in on any of the Coyotes and they walk down the hall.
Oh well, remember that happened with Gostisbehere?
It'd be unreal.
They played
Walk down the hall. Seen it
It
happen
was
a handful of
Carolina.
times.
Yeah.
Landon Wilson walked down from
Scott
the Coyotes.
Wedgwood. That wasn't the deadline. Oh, it was the deadline.
Yeah, it was. And Landon Wilson walked from the Coyotes down to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who was also a really bad team at the time prior to Sidney Crosby.
That's just crazy.
True story.
Chad said we typically show up against the harder teams and drop the ones like tonight. So
it is frustrating.
It does happen sometimes. And I'm hoping like Chicago kind of got embarrassed last night and they came to play today. Maybe the Coyotes will have the same approach on Thursday's game where they think, okay, the effort wasn't there tonight. And
the one thing with the Minnesota Wild here, emotion plays a lot into this. In all of these games as the trade deadline approaches, the Chicago Blackhawks have nothing to play for. They really don't. So if they don't score first tonight, I'm not sure they win the hockey game because it is hard to keep. They have nothing to play for. You give up the first goal, it's easier to give up and quit. It just is. And that's why these penalties in the first period were so important, that the Coyotes stay out of the penalty box so that they don't get behind to a team like that. I mean, we talk about emotions when Minnesota comes in. Minnesota's coming in with a team that had thought they were going to be making the playoffs. We talked about them being in the top 3 in the Central. They're just going to miss the playoffs. And somebody's going to get traded from that team. And they're a team thinking they're going to be adding the entire season. All of a sudden now they're selling. And one of the pieces they're selling is one of their heart and soul guys is Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, his name gets bandied about a lot.
No, but they said they're not trading.
I know they said they're not trading, but teams need a freaking goalie.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But somebody could, I guess the point is, if it's not Marc-Andre Fleury, somebody could be traded from that room. And when you trade players from a room and you've got that anticipation of that happening the next day, there's anxiety and there's nerves. And they might be able to catch the Minnesota Wild at the right time. So I actually like the Coyotes on that one on Thursday.
So maybe
I like the money line. No, I like the Coyotes money line.
Clayton Keller anytime and the money line.
I like it.
There you go. All right. Well, let's take the Suns crew is screaming. I think
they're in overtime, right?
Yeah, they are. It's 112-104 Suns for those keeping
so
track.
They're starting to run away.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the punch card, which we had a couple greens in there and back to red, but there's still a chance to add some more greens. But look how close we are.
The one thing that jumps out me there, Leah, is this is almost done.
Yeah.
And remember when we were filling out that first line and you go, oh my God, what are we doing? Like the transition time from off season to game starting and you go, oh my God, this is going to take forever.
And this season has flown by.
It has.
It's crazy.
But you know why? Because they were in a playoff spot. And it was fun. And this part's going to go fast. 20 games is nothing. We can do this standing on our head, Leah. We got this. Easy. I hope there's a few more greens between now.
I hope so too.
And I hope we get that takeover when we actually go to the game. I hope they win that game.
Me too.
Because it's
I'm
more
excited.
fun. And remember we did it last year and we went to, it was, we didn't do it last year. It was 2 years ago, the Nashville game.
Oh, the last game at Gila River.
Nashville just pumped him in the first 3 minutes.
And then the Coyotes stormed back and won, and it was actually one of the best hockey games I've ever gone to, and it was so fun.
I don't remember because Caleb and Drew Gabbs kept buying me beer, so I don't really remember. But I heard they won after. just saying. Somebody said.
Well, one of the things that made watching tonight's game great is that I was eating the Circle K chips.
Oh my God.
People felt so bad that Petey's chips got stolen that he got reimbursed so many bags of chips. Charles, Eric came through, he felt bad. So we have a lot of chips. So Petey was sharing. I have to say, and I have obviously had them before, but especially especially when you're watching the game, there's something to it.
So good.
Lindsay was having them.
Yep.
She did ask, so she was not, and she does deny stealing the M&M. So the M&M thief is still at large. The Circle K kettle cooked plain chips are so freaking good. So next time you swing by a Circle K, if you see the commissioner of the NHL outside, say, "Sorry, I'm going to get my Circle K chips." So go inside.
If salty's your jam,
I'm a big salty fan.
I am too. I'm a salty.
But they have sweet snacks there too. Do not underrate the Circle K branded snacks. And of course, become a member of the Inner Circle because you get discounts all of the time. They give free drinks and snacks all the time. Plus you save money on gas, which, is, as gas prices fluctuate, that is super nice to have as a constant. And it's completely free to join the Inner Circle. All you have to do is download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
And you know who does it better than Gila River Resorts and Casinos?
I don't think anyone.
No, you're right. No one does it better. Not only do they have a state-of-the-art gaming floor with slot machines, blackjack tables, and live table games. And not to mention, they also have Arizona's largest casino sportsbook. The dining ranges from upscale to approachable, but it's the entertainment that keeps me going back. And let me tell you who's coming.
Tell me.
To Wild Horse Pass. Martina McBride is coming at the end of the month, and then Ice Cube, Dwight Yoakam, Wiz Khalifa, and Clint Black. A little something for everyone coming in April to Wild Horse Pass, the showroom.
There's also going to be a lot of stuff for the Final Four at Gila River at Wild Horse
We're
Pass.
supposed to talk about that, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know if we are yet.
Well, the Ice Cube thing is part of that.
The Ice Cube thing's part of the Final Four thing. But we're a sports-related thing. The Final Four is sports-related, and we like Gila River Resorts and Casinos, so there may be some kind of commingling there.
Just keep your eye on that weekend in April.
Buddy,
it's going to be a blast.
You head to Gila Resorts. No, don't head to Gila Resorts.
Gila River.
And take two. Head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what Next Level Entertainment is all about. You do you at Gila Resorts. I did it again.
Gila River.
I did it again. It's approaching midnight here. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play at Gila.com for more details.
We made it. It stuck the landing in the end.
Oh, that was awful. And take two. This is live, Petey.
All right. Any final thoughts?
You know, it's disappointing. It's a disappointing game. To lose to the worst team in the Western Conference is disappointing.
Yeah.
That's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah, that summarizes it.
But you know, dust off your boots, get on your skates and do it again and try again next time. We'll be there tomorrow. I will be at the ice tomorrow.
What are
will
you
be
doing?
there?
What are you doing there?
What do I usually do? I am going to try. Now this is
we can't make any promises.
No promises, but I have at this point scheduled a walking and talking for tomorrow. We haven't walked and talked for a while because turns out they don't like to walk and talk a lot when they're not winning.
When they are on a 14-game losing streak.
Yeah, they don't like to do that. But then I said, so I have one scheduled for tomorrow. I will be at the ice den walking and talking. I hopefully have a player with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because either way, I'm doing it. Either way, I'm going to walk and talk. And I know it won't be Stan. Sorry, Stan, if you know, you know.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled because I've got a guy I've been trying to walk and talk with for almost 2 years.
There's your hint.
There's your hint.
PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed because not only do we go live there 5 days a week, but we also have all that extra content as well. Petey did a full breakdown previewing this game, which is still relevant because the Coyotes played the Blackhawks again on Sunday. That one was for diehards only, so if you want to see that, it's a full 5-minute breakdown of what to look for as the Coyotes face the Blackhawks. That's on our YouTube channel, again, for diehards only, so you must be a diehard to look at that. But just so many reasons to subscribe to the YouTube channel and become a diehard. And make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts so you could have listened to Petey and Craig catch up with the Athletics' Mark Lazarus. And he also previewed this game, but he's just also a really well-respected journalist in the NHL.
And it's still relevant.
Super relevant
still. Because we play again the same team.
Go back and listen. Audio only. So make sure you subscribe. Leave us a review on there as well. It really helps and means a lot to us. But we will be back tomorrow 2 p.m. That's Wednesday at 2 p.m. to do a full preview of the trade deadline for the Arizona Coyotes. So we hope to see everybody then. We'll obviously have our post-game shows throughout the rest of the week. And then we will also be going live on Friday after the trade deadline to break down whatever it is that happens. So it could be a very short show. It could be a very long show. We'll see. So just kind of pencil in your calendars there as well on Friday. So that's what's on the horizon. But in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Abracadanielle. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Hit this like button on this video and stick around on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel because the PHNX Sun Show is about to go live. But everybody, thanks so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you all tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.